What the heck has happened to my blind date journal? Look at this. It has become so fat that I can't work in it anymore. I mean, this looks gorgeous, but it's not possible for me to flip it open and then work in it so that you can see anything. Filming something for this journal is nearly impossible. If I want to be honest, thinking about deconstructing this journal and making the spine a little bit wider and then put the signatures back into the new cover that I probably will make for this journal so that I can handle it better. It's so crazy. It's so full of things. I have never expected that it will get this thick. And that's the reason why I want to create the main course of this menu here on a tag so that I can work relatively normal on my desk, make the tag, and then later on put it into my journal. Hi there, this is Luisa Heinzel. Welcome to my channel Junk Journal Art. This is another episode of the Blind Date Journal project that I'm doing in collaboration with Susanne from Bollenhut Art. And she has written this menu down for me that I have to fulfill in my Blind Date Journal. If you've never heard about the Blind Date Journal project, then please check out the playlist link down below in the description box. There you can find every video that we both have published in the past so that you can watch the other episodes as well if you want. So today I have to make this. In German it says, for the main course, handgeschabte Junk Journal Spätzle mit Linsen. Das Würstchen erspare ich dir. That means I have to make some handmade junk journal Spätzle. I think that Spätzle is the same word in English. It's these tiny kind of noodles, but not in an Italian way, but in a really traditional German or Austrian way. So it's existing in Germany and in Austria, and I think, of course, in other countries as well, but I know it from Germany and from Austria. And she wants to have some lentils going with those Spätzle. In Austria, that's not typical to eat lentils with Spätzle. It's really strange for me to think about that as a real meal. But if she wants it, then she shall get it. We shall not make a sausage. She has written this here in a really funny way in German that we don't have to make a sausage so that we can save some time or some effort to make that. So let's see. Yeah, and please feel free to take this part of the menu as some kind of a journal prompt, as an inspiration or something like that for your own journals as well and for your own junk journal projects. You can take this and try to make your own version of this, of course. That's also the reason why I'm saying we have to do that, because, of course, I would like to encourage you to try this out, because in the most cases it's really fun and sometimes it's a little bit challenging, of course. Sometimes you perhaps may struggle with the things that you have to do, but I can promise that you will learn a lot if you try to do this. It can't be only me who is learning or who learned in the past from these menus. I think that you will learn something as well. So please try that out and feel free to, for example, take a screenshot. Oh, that wouldn't make no sense because you can't read the German language if you're watching this video. But yeah, you can perhaps write it down, what I said, what you have to do, and then you can try it. So for my tag, I have made this base. I have just taken a leftover scrapbooking paper and I've just glued it and then I've sewn around here. And for my background, I want to use some of 49 Dragonfly's digital papers. The Blind Date Journal project is at the same time a design team project for 49 Dragonflies. So within this series, you will see papers from 49 Dragonflies shop used in the journals. And if you have followed the last episodes, you know that I wanted to challenge myself to use a paper collection that I really, really love. That's this BOHO Birds paper collection from Barbara's shop. And I want to try to include that into my journal. even if these colors here are not matching the colors in my journal. But I wanted to try that because when I saw these little birdies here, I immediately fall in love and I wanted to use them. So that's my challenge that I have put on top of the actual menu challenge. And I just want to put this part here to, this part of the tag and the other one to the back side, so that I can decide where I want to put my decoration and that stuff. Perhaps I will also, I will do both sides, but I don't know until now. Let's see how that will go. So I'm just realizing that this is a little bit too small for this tag. So yeah, what can we do if this is too small? We need this edge. So otherwise the bird would look really strange. So I think I will just glue that down and then cut a piece on the bottom of my tag. I think it's not the problem if the tag is a little bit shorter. Or perhaps we can also collage something here on top. I mean, that would also be, of course, possible. And perhaps you are wondering why I have sewn around the tag and now I'm gluing the paper on top. That has two reasons. The one reason is that this way the tag is, of course, way more sturdy with the sewing around. And the second reason is that I have found out if you distress such edges, you get a really cool, some kind of stenciling from this sewn line here underneath. And I want to try that out. Again, I have found that out on a project that I did without the camera. And I want to redo that and see if that will look as cool as on the other piece. So that's the reason why I have done that. And of course, you don't have to do that. I mean, if you want to imitate this, you don't have to do that. You can also just glue the whole stuff together. And then if you want, later on you can sew around or leave it like it is. If you want to leave it like it is and don't want to sew around, I can't recommend this glue stick. I mean, perhaps you have a glue stick that sticks really, really well. I can't recommend this one here. I've made the experience that the pieces are coming off with the time, that this glue is perhaps made to glue something for a while, for half of a year or something like that. But after that, it will fall apart. You can just take that layer of paper and then you can tear it off. And that's not what I want, of course. But I will sew around here later so that this will stay sturdy on my base. But if you don't want to do that and you don't want to sew, then I would recommend to use some gel medium or something like that to glue that, or Mod Podge or something that's really, you know, sticking well also over the time. And now, before I go on, I will seal this whole thing, the front and the back side, with some gel medium. I'm using this one from Liquitex to make sure that the surface is protected from, for example, water and that stuff. Okay, so when we have that, I would suggest we can first distress the edges for the first time. I say for the first time because I always don't know if I will put some more layers of distressing to this thing, because sometimes, yeah, when you change what you have here, when you put some decoration on top, then it can happen that you decide that you want it darker around the tag, or yeah, want to change something. So I will go around with some brushed corduroy and some walnut stain. So first I would like to use this brushed corduroy. It's the lighter color of both of these, of course. So this is some kind of yeah, for me it's like a really cool orangey brown, and I really like that. And I guess that this matches the colors that Barbara has in her birds here really, really well. Please don't be shocked. This will not stay so yellow with this first, or not so intensive, but with this first layer, I'm going around really extremely because I want to use some water in a second to bring this cool effect of the oxide ink out a little bit more. And that's also a reason why I have chosen this gel medium to protect my surface. Because when I now, or in a second, want to use water, and I want to get this effect that you will see in a second, it's way more easy when you have something, yeah, that's underneath that is waterproof. You will see what I mean in a second. If you use gel medium, you know what will happen now. Okay. Like this. Then we need a dry towel and some water for this effect. And I'm going to spritz my water really randomly here to my tag. And you can see the ink will be lifted up with that. And, or not lifted up, it will be lifted up when I take this, but you know what I mean. It reacts with the water, and then you can easily take it off, getting this cool effect without destroying your paper. And of course, without the sealing underneath, the paper could get really wavy and it could perhaps come off from your tag, especially when you use a glue stick, because glue sticks are often not waterproof. And this way, yeah, it works really, really fine. So, let's do that on the other side as well. I have some special effects here already. Have you ever thought about making this effect not with water drops, but in another way? I mean, this is where the edge of my paper was, and the water has went below the tag. Yeah, so I think I have seen some people pressing some wet stamps to their tags to get some kind of a pattern as well. And I'm just thinking, oh, I think I have something here by accident, happy accident, laying on my table. I have this stamp. So let's try something. I mean, the front has not to look exactly the same as the back side of this tag. But how do we have to do that? I mean, if I spritz that here, that is way too much, of course. I don't know. But I will try it. I will try to get that there. Ooh. I guess that didn't work. Yeah, okay. Okay, so we need something that is like a single piece of something. Perhaps some wool. That could perhaps work. Or something like this. Let's see. I will make that wet. Very interesting. That seems to work to get those lines. And if you don't like what you have here, I mean, this looks really cool. Oh my goodness. I really like that. I really, really like that. But if you, for example, think, oh, here in this area, it's too white for me now, then you can apply some more ink of course, and then reactivate it with water again and put your string or your whatever you want to use there. That's really, really cool. I think I've learned something new, and I'm so hoping that this is new for you as well. That would be really great if I could tell you something that's new or that's an inspiration. Yeah, that's really great. Why haven't I done that here as well? I mean, let's see, perhaps we can put a bit of this effect somewhere here. Only a little bit, so that we don't destroy the thing that we had before. Like this, for example. I really like that. New technique for today. Check. Okay, so then I will just go over this with my heat gun so that this is really dry. And then we can take the walnut stain and go around here as well. But this time I will go not so far to the inside. And here you can also now see really, really light, but you can see it, the thread of my sewing. I mean, this is like a really tiny frame, like I have distressed it in a really strange way, because we have this second line here and there. Also here on the bottom, we can see that, hopefully you can see that as well. Here it's a little bit more, and I really like this effect. This looks like it was bent there or something like that, but it wasn't, of course. But it has this optic and this look. That is really cool, I think. So, I have prepared something. I made a little mess out of these acrylic paints. So this is white acrylic paint, a really cheap one, and a really liquid acrylic paint. That's not so good. I have made the experience that this takes a lot of time to dry. So if you have a high quality acrylic paint, please use that. It will work with a cheap one like this. But yeah, you see, €1. What can this be? Then I have chosen these both from Winsor & Newton. Of course, these are way more high quality. This is burnt sienna and yellow, how is that said? Ochre. In German it's ochre. You can see that. I have mixed that, and then I have put the paint to such a plastic mat, and I have let it dry. And normally, if you make those Spätzle, I mean, if you would prepare this meal, Spätzle, you would take something like a stencil with holes. I don't know how that is called in English. It's Spätzlehobel in German. It's, yeah, like this cheese thingy where you can make tiny pieces from your cheese. You know what I mean. And you would take the thing that you have from flour and eggs and that stuff, and you would put it through those holes into a pot of hot water, boiling water, and then these little Spätzle, this little kind of pasta, would fall into the water, and when it comes up, then it's ready. And Susanne has written that I have to scrape that, so she wants hand scraped Spätzle. And with this spatula, I can scrape this off. And then I have this acrylic paint skin. And from this skin, I want to make some Spätzle and then turn those into flowers on my tag. Yeah. If you want to imitate this, please make sure that this acrylic paint skin is really, really dry. I have made this yesterday, and I've tried to scrape that off too early. And then you have the problem that you have, yeah, the wet acrylic paint somewhere where you don't want it, on your fingers, on your desk, and everywhere. And this is way more handy. So this is, yeah, a really cool texture now. It's still a little bit sticky on the back, so I guess I can't cut that with my scissors, but perhaps it's also possible to do it in, yeah, a little bit other way. First I thought, yesterday when I recorded the German video, I could tear that really easily into some kind of petals. That's not so easy anymore today. So I want to have this as some kind of a neutral tag. Sorry, Barbara, but I have to cover up this flower here, because for this idea, this flower is a little bit too colorful. I want to have, yeah, this textured flower to be with the bird the focal point of this thing. So I'm trying to, hopefully this is enough. Oh my goodness. Okay, we will need a little bit more, and we need that for this idea. Okay, let's see. Sorry, I just will take that off. I just wanted to try if that is enough, and if I have the possibility to make it like it is in my head. So now I will leave approximately this part of the original flower here, and I will cover that up later with something else. And then I will put this acrylic paint skin here, and I'm trying to, yeah, glue that a little bit textured. So I try to crumble that up a little bit so that it looks really three-dimensional. Of course, if your journal is already really bulky like mine, then you should have in mind that this brings bulk to your journal, of course. But for me, it's not so relevant, because it doesn't matter if I get more bulk to my journal than I have now, because it's, you know, it's already a disaster. So I don't care about that. But yeah, if you perhaps are new to junk journaling, then have that in mind, that this can be really, really thick and perhaps too thick for your journal. But of course, it depends on how much space you have in your journal. Perhaps you have been really, you know, have planned everything really good, and you have planned that you can make such bulky things, and that you have enough space in between of your pages. That, of course, would be good. I really haven't expected that this gets so crazy and so bulky, but yeah, it's a really huge project as well. We have sent the journal to each other a few times, Susanne and I, and of course, yeah, perhaps I need more experience in doing this blind date journal thing to make sure that I can make journals that can handle such a blind date project. Okay, so and then Susanne has written that she wants to have some lentils. So I have some here. These are obviously too much, of course, but when I said to Gary, you have to buy some lentils, of course he couldn't go to the shop and say, I need 50 lentils. That's not possible, but it would have been really funny, of course. Now I want to put this here so that we have, yeah, this side view of the flower. Hopefully you can imagine what I'm trying to do here. This looks like, for example, a daisy when you look at it from the side. Hopefully this will make sense in a few minutes when I have put my shadings there that I want to put there. Hopefully the birdie is not too hungry. I mean, it's not so easy to get these lentils here. Hopefully he will not eat them before I have finished this project. That would be not so nice. Okay, so first of all I want to use some white acrylic paint to bring out some highlights of this flower and to define those petals a little bit. That's not so bad. That's not so bad. And then when I have that, I'm taking a brown crayon. This is the Bollenhut Art crayon in brown. I'm just scribbling here a little bit. And then I'm taking a water brush, but not this one. This is too big. Where is my small water brush? Here. Put some water here to activate this. So this is a water-soluble crayon. And what is that here? Oh my goodness. Sorry. And in this case, I want to use a brown color to shade that and not black, because the bird is brown as well. And I don't want to have this too dark, because I want to reach that the flower and the bird get one as this one focal point. I don't want to have the flower to be too massive. I'm not sure if I can really do that, but I want to try it. And that's the reason why I'm not using black. I guess it's a good idea to take some white acrylic paint and water that down a little bit. Like this, only a little bit. And then I'm trying to smear this around a little bit so that I can get a mix of my crayon and the acrylic paint, so that it gets a little bit darker, some kind of brownish grayish, that we can see a difference. That's not so much, isn't it? Let's see. I have to try that out. I can't tell you what you have to do and I haven't tried it out. Oh, here it worked better. As you can see, this is more the color that I've looked for. Perhaps I can take what I have on my brush and bring that here. And I guess cleaning the brush and making it dry in between helps to blend this a little bit. And I think that this color now matches the bird relatively good, but the bird is way more coffee brownish than the flower. I don't know how that how you feel that when you look through the camera, but I have the feeling that the flower looks a little bit dead, not so warm, really, yeah, really cold, I would say. So I'm thinking of, and I'm really afraid of doing that. I want to try to use some really dark coffee, because especially the bird and the, yeah, you know, the bird, the head of the bird looks, the color looks like coffee. And perhaps I can try to carefully, I guess that works, and I guess that will change the color of the crayon a little bit. I mean, it can happen that I will go over this with the white on the hills there, because I, yeah, you know, can't do that so exactly. But I think this makes a really big difference. Hopefully you can see that in the camera as well. Okay, so now it's the point that I have to go away from my desk, because I don't want to destroy this thing now, because I want to add some more details, some more things. For example, an eyelet. But of course, if I put the eyelet to the usual position here in the middle, I would destroy my bird. So I have to think about where to put the eyelet. I can't put it here. For example, here would be an option, but I would destroy this negative space here if I would put it there. So I have to find an alternative place for this eyelet. I have to go away now. And why do I tell you that? You have asked me so often, how do you manage your projects? What's going on in your head? How do you find your inspiration? When do you know that a project is finished? And that's the reason why I'm telling you that. You will not see that in the video when I don't tell it to you that I make a break, and I make a break and then I come back. You will see a cut in the video, and then I'm still there. For you, it's not visible that I'm making a break, and that's the reason why I'm telling you that, because you have asked me that. And to make such decisions, and that's a really hard decision where to put the eyelet, I have to go away. And it's also, for me, I mean, that makes my brain fresh again. I have to refresh my brain. And that's only possible when I walk away and, yeah, look to something different. Don't look to my camera, don't look to my desk and that stuff. And when I come back, sometimes I see my whole project with totally different eyes, and then I immediately know what I have to do. And that's a phenomenon that I can't explain, but it has to do with this break. And perhaps that's an idea for you as well. If you struggle how to go on with your project, go away, drink a coffee, refresh your brain, make a little walk or something like that, and then come back and look at it again. I'm also not sure about how dark I want the distressing here. I mean, I could make it way more dark when I look at this to give this a real frame. Do you know what I mean? We could also use a really dark brown, this crayon for example, but I don't know if that will steal the attention from the flower or if it will do the opposite thing and bring everything together. I'm not sure about that. And also this area here on the bottom, it screams to add a quote or something like that. To have something, yeah, you can perhaps try that out with your paintbrush or something similar in black or really dark. I mean, here a dark frame, Luisa, a dark quote. I mean, a quote that is on a dark paper, sorry, would make sense. Yeah, but even if it would be white, I mean, here we have much white as well. Perhaps it would stand out enough if we use white as well. I'm also not sure if I want to add some splatters here or even some stamping in the background. I will, before I go, I will show you the tag that I've made yesterday for the German video. And if you compare that, you will be really surprised, I guess. That's also a phenomenon. I have tried out this idea yesterday. And now I have to find it here somewhere. I've tried out this idea with this acrylic paint skin yesterday for the first time in my German video. And I've created a tag with the same idea behind it. And this is what I got. Isn't that strange? This is such a big difference. I made the petals, the petals and the flowers way more smaller than on my tag for today. I realized yesterday that it is really difficult to bring out the details of such smaller flowers. And look at the difference. I mean, this is my first try from yesterday, and this is what I can come up with today. Look, please look at the difference. I mean, we have this stamping in the background, of course. We have a totally different color palette on this tag than on this one. This one is way more calm. But why is it way more calm? Because I've learned something. And for me, it's really, really incredible to see this development from yesterday to today. Why am I telling you that? Perhaps you think, oh, this is a really arrogant woman who is saying that she can make such a big step from yesterday to today. No, that's not what I want to say. That's not the reason why I'm saying that. The reason is, try that out. When you have something like this and you think, okay, that's okay for me, it's okay enough that I can put it in my journal, I have learned something, and this tag tells me that I have learned something, then don't give up. Try it the other day again. If you liked what you have done here, if you like this technique, the feeling of this acrylic paint skin, for example, if you liked your own idea, I mean, this was my idea to make those Spätzle out of this acrylic paint skin. If you liked that, then please don't give up if you have something that is medium okay for you. Try it again and you can see. Look at this. And please imagine what would happen if I would be able to put a third tag from tomorrow next to this one from today. And I'm sure that you can practice such things as well. You are saying, oh, Luise, you have so much talent. I'm reading that so often below my videos, and I'm so impressed by that. I mean, you say I have talent, but this is practice. This is no talent. And I think that many things that have to do with art or junk journaling. This junk journaling is a special kind of art, isn't it? I think that many things have to do with practicing, and it's not like, oh, I have an idea and bam, there we go. No. Okay, so I will go away now. For you, I will be back in a second, but I think this break takes me half an hour or something like that until I know what I want to do here. Okay, so here I'm back, approximately half an hour later, and I think the first thing that I have decided in the meantime that I want to do is I want to, that's a little bit too much, but that doesn't matter. I want to add some white splatters, because I think here in this area it needs to have something that brings this flower to life a little bit more. I mean, it is really dimensional. It looks, I don't want to say realistic, because of course it doesn't, it does not look realistic, but do you know what I mean? It's it's laying on top of the background. It looks like, you can see that this obviously is dimensional and the background is flat. And I'm trying to get a connection between the flower and the background, this textured area of the flower and the background. That's hard to explain. So let's see. Oh my goodness. That's not bad. Yep. Some more here. So I guess I have to... Sorry, Susanne, I'm using your menu for this. But this can get some white splatters as well. It's a little bit boring there on the bottom. Okay. I think I like that. Yeah, I really like that. Now it goes like, in this direction a little bit. That's cool. But it divides the tag into this top part and this bottom part. I mean, here it looks really detailed, really interesting, and here it's a little bit plain. So I guess I will try to get some of this here to bring a connection to the bottom part, and also a little bit here to make the feather come out a little bit more, and perhaps a tiny bit here like this. Yeah. Okay. That worked. And then I couldn't really decide if I want to have the frame, a darker frame around this whole tag. So I've decided to try the following thing. I want to have some of these areas a little bit darker. That's what I know. But, where's my crane? But I don't know if I want to go around totally. Around the whole thing. So let's try something. Let's put this paper underneath, and let's first do this really carefully here, only on the edges. Perhaps that will give the imagination of a whole frame if we only do it here without the need of doing it the whole way round. Yeah, perhaps that gives it a little bit more of a bottom as well. Yeah. I think that this was a good decision. That brings out these lighter parts of the middle of the tag way more. So let's try a similar thing here on the top. So what about a quote or an eyelet? Upsala, sorry. Let's first, after destroying the craft room, punch the hole here. And on the back there's nothing that I need in this area, I guess. So that, yeah, this is not destroyed here with this hole. It has to be something beige or brownish or something like that, or even this piece. This I had cut off yesterday from Susanne's paperclip. Perhaps we can also make it, oh, that would also be a great thing, I guess, when we let it hang here like a little dangle or something like that. I think that looks really cool. Yeah, okay, so that was this, the main course. We have to do the dessert in the next episode, and we also have to do this additional task that Susanne has given me. I will quickly show you that, or remind you if you don't know what I'm talking about. If you're new, I'm showing it to you, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you know the series, I remind you to this. So here is this paper clip in my journal, and this little ticket says that I have to change something on this page that Susanne has marked for me with this paper clip that I don't like. So I have to fulfill this, yeah, additional task of the menu as well. So I have to change something here. The problem are the colors on this page for me, but I have no idea until now what I want to do, but that's also a thing that I want to do. And I'm also still thinking about taking the journal apart. I don't know if I really will do that. To be honest, I don't know if I have the time to do that, even if my fingers are like little bees. I want to do it, but I don't know if I have the time to show you that in a video. But I will give my best to make a video about that, because I think many of you have the problem that the journal sometimes looks like this, and it is, yeah, too bulky. And of course there is a solution how to solve this problem, and I guess that I want to try that here and show that to you in a video as well. So hopefully this was a little bit inspirational for you. If you want to do something similar like this, then I would be really happy if you post that on your social media, Instagram, Facebook, for example, and tag me in some way so that I can see your results. And if you want to see on which page I have included this tag into my journal, then please visit my Instagram. It's linked down below in the description box for you. There you can see the tag in the context with the journal. Yeah, so I have to decide now on which page I want to put it, but it has to dry completely. I will leave that overnight so that it is really, really dry before I put it into my journal. Okay, so yeah, happy creating. Stay healthy, that's the main thing. Stay creative, and see you the next time. Bye bye.